joining us today. This is Friday, as above, so below. Venusian energy or Venus energy. To each and every one of you guys, first of all, I want to say salutations to my madrina, to my padrino, to my oba, and to all of my brothers and sisters in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Kumi, Congo, Palo, Mystic, and Anjays. To each and every one of you guys, thank you so much for being here on this particular channel. If this is your first time in my live, my name is Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. I am the apostle and pastor of Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated, and my beliefs are deeply rooted in the ATRs. To each and one, what's up, my baby Stormy in the house? My Sagittarius from Detroit. What's up, Jeremy? Thank you for being with us on today. I want to say to each and every one, thank you so much for allowing me to minister to many of you. What's up, my mother Susan in the house, the mother of our church, and then my Demetrius is in the house. On this Friday, already y'all chiming in. My baby Scorpio says she at work, she getting that money. That's Scorpio for you. But she's here in present. I want to say to each and every one of you guys that this is I'm planning on going to Lauderdale to get some more shungite to do this ceremony. And thank you for all you that contributed or assisting. This is a little tight for me around this time because I'm waiting on my pension and my 401k money to come through. They told me it would be a couple days, so I'm looking for that like a hawk or eagle. But anyway, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys for your continued support, believing in what this platform is doing for melanated people. And I also want to say that I take a lot of pride in my healing, in my health. And the reason I went and got some acai. The reason I'm saying normally I'm not that great in the morning. I ain't never been a morning person, but health wise, I tend to do better in the afternoon and to the evening, and because I'm a night owl. But recently that I've been taking the feverfew herb, that I have been able to I noticed that once I take it, I'm a lot coherent. My mind is not foggy. I'm just not a morning person. So therefore things are clicking. It's many times that I went to UPS and my eyes were open, but I was asleep. There was nobody home. And because it take me a while. I'm not a coffee drinker, so I don't have those mental stimulus. But this has been lion's mane, and this has been working miracles. Let me get my spray on. Lavender. Now, I also want to say, and I'm going to teach some stuff today because I got to get y'all prepared for what we're going to get into. I want to say hello to my Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Aquarius, Cancer, Capricorn, Leo, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, and Virgo. I want to say hello to each and every one of you guys and Grand Rising. Now, I want to talk about because I want to talk about the loss of attraction, but I want to show you we're in a season. Y'all remember the moon rules season. We're in a season of Gemini. I want to talk about Mercurial influence to attract. And I've had I have had and still have the pleasure of my mother being a Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury, and my sister is a Gemini. And I want to teach y'all how they're. I'm 9 years older than my sister, so my sister they get some age, so 18 whatever. So it's about 18, 20 years before she started really walking her own. So I want to, and it's only 16 years between me and my mother. What's up, Tronda Aries in the house? Good morning to you. Demetrius said tomorrow is his day. Tomorrow is Demetrius' birthday. My sister's birthday is on the 4th of June. Mother Susan Which one is I buy so much for that lady. But her birthday is coming up too. She'll post it. Post your birthday, Mother Susan. So I want to share with y'all when it comes down to spirituality, because I'm a Sagittarius, Moon in Aries, and rising sign Pisces, and this is why this is going to be so significant into your manifestations. And this is where a lot of I remember the 11th. Starman says the 11th. Oh, thank you, sweet. So let me say this, and thank you for hitting that like button. And thank you for understanding that this is a monetized channel. Stormy already beat you to it, Mother Susan. She better than I. She said she remembered, and she got it on the mark. So we got Demetrius tomorrow. My sister's on the 4th, and then Mother Susan's on the 11th. And let me explain magically why this is important and how it has impacted my life. And when you're dealing with Mercurial energy, you're dealing with logic. You're also dealing with intuition. So just because somebody is logical doesn't mean they're not spiritual. And I think that this is misleading when people talk about the energy of Gemini and they talk about Virgos. Because of the fact they're so logical, Virgos, and analytical, you don't see it as being spiritual when they are also in touch with their earth element. And these two energies, Virgo and Gemini, are mutable signs. Now, what that means, sir and ma'am, that you need to understand about this energy is mutable means that they are adaptable. That means they're constantly changing. So when it comes down to the earth element, my mother is mutable earth. When it comes down to my sister, is mutable air. And why is this important? Because I want to give y'all a little history behind how I came up to be. Now, my mother, like I said, I want you to get the time frame. My mother's 16 years older than me. And then my mother was a child, having a child. So therefore my grandmother, which is a Sagittarius, had a lot of impact on my mother. And my mother had a lot of impact on me. And my grandmother, you know, I had that trifecta going on. And so when it came down to my mother, one of the things that, not one of the things, but the mindset of a Virgo through Mercury is all using the earth element and always being prepared, paying attention to details. I was not, listen, I know that y'all parade around me and talk about I'm such a great communicator. When I was young, I was not a good communicator. My mother used to tell me all the time, people can't read your goddamn, she you know, my family talk colorful. She don't use much of that language now, but when I was coming up, before I knew English, I knew how to cuss. So she's like, nobody gonna read your goddamn mind. I'm a fire sign. Why you can't read my mind? I can read yours, but my thing was, when I was coming up, there's a lot of things that my mother used to tell me that I didn't want to do. She used to talk about my procrastination. Virgos hate procrastination. This is really, really important because a lot of things that I am successful now that I'm older is really because of Mercurial influence. And a lot of times you guys, because somebody is you don't let that energy bring out of your energy what's necessary for you to live, survive, and to be successful in this life. And I believe that a lot of people focus on the criticism of Virgo rather than the cause of the criticism. Virgo is an earth element, and she's the mother of the earth. My mother always was about a dollar, and she was always about business. My grandmother was like that, and my mother was like that. So my mother, I'll never forget this, and I want to share this with y'all, and why I say what I say. I remember her telling me about running the convenience store and the hotel. I felt like it ain't mine. Why I got to get up and do it? She said you don't have to own nothing to learn. Let me help y'all. This is why the Bible say, why would God give you your own when you're not faithful over another's man? I have run plenty of business that I did not own. My name was on nothing. Do you understand? But the skill set that I got, she told me this thing. She said, while you worried about who laying down, I'm trying to help somebody on today. She said, why you worried about who laying down and ain't getting up? You get up because you ain't got shit. Ooh, what do you mean I ain't got nothing? I got you, I got my grandma, I got this family. Mama may have, daddy may have, but God bless the child that has. Me and my sister still quote that. People don't understand, everybody, people don't understand where Virgo coming from. You got to have your own. It might be 100 worms out there, but if you don't get up early to get that worm, that woman used to get up every morning. Oh, just get on my nerve, because I'm not no morning person. Before, she was up before the chickens and the roosters, and it used to get on my nerve, and she used to wake me up. And I'm a fire sign. So I had an attitude because I'm looking at everybody's energy. He ain't up. He ain't doing this. Why I got to do it? And it ain't even my stuff. And she taught me how to utilize opportunities. Don't worry about what you don't have or you don't own. Because if you learn how to run that apartment, it's going to set you up for your mortgage. When you learn how to handle a friendship, it will set you up for your relationship concerning contract and marriage. See, a lot of us want to skip certain steps. I used to hear all the time, you got to crawl before you walk. I'm a fire sign. I want instantaneously to be gratified, to be walking it. No, it don't work like that. Virgo taught me it's a step for step. There's a plan for a plan. There's a situation for a situation. A lot of you guys want to attract certain things in your life and you don't have a plan that's going to put you in position to attract that. You don't have the steps, and mama, I could not have an inspiration without a plan. Are y'all hearing me? That's right, Stormy, brick by brick. I was not allowed to come to my mama about my inspiration and I didn't have no backup. Well, how that gonna happen? See, you can't just have an idea. How that gonna get funded? Because I know you ain't doting on my money. She always taught me to be self-sufficient. She was always telling me, because my family had a lot of resources, a lot of money, stop looking at what somebody else got, because they might want to do something else with their money. This is why when I went through the things I went through in my church and still going through, people could never snatch the rug under me because I never had that type of dependence on people. If they did, that was fine. If they didn't, it was fine, because I was operating within my means. what I had the capabilities of doing. And this is why I teach the way that I teach. A lot of y'all think I'm trying to get you to think like I think. I'm not. Depending on what's important to you and how your life is set up. That's why I teach different methods about how you get to a certain destination, whether it's spiritually, whether it's mentally, whether it's emotionally. There are steps that you can take no matter who you are and what you desire. Put yourself in the arena. A lot of y'all ain't got the plans, or you are easily my mother was not a type of person. If she said something, she was gonna carry it out, whether you liked it or didn't like it. That's a Virgo, very controlling. But that earth element molded me. That I'm still a risk taker as a Sagittarius, but I'm a calculated risk taker. Therefore, I don't miss as much or hardly ever. When you allow certain energies and frequencies to influence you, especially from the Mercurial thing, you can attract a lot of things. And my mama told me, she said, you like to talk. You need to get something going on with you that people will pay you to hear you talk. Because you're the talking ass boy. And I was, and still am. My energy going up, so I ain't really ate nothing. But this I see it, acai. And so I'm burning a lot of energy when I be doing these lives. So what I'm telling you is Mercury taught me analytics. That's why I have real numbers. I don't care if I got 4,000 people on this YouTube. I only count real numbers. The same thing we've been taught. Don't count your biddies before they hatch. Mercury taught me how to think. Use my mind. As a Sagittarius, with all this fire, how to come up with plans, come up with situations where I can benefit from my energy. I'm gonna say it again. That I learned business from my mother, Virgo. Virgo always building structure. That's why she's able to relate to the Taurus in my family, and because we got a lot of Capricorns in my family too. Sagittarius and Capricorn. So she able to relate to the earth element. That's why a lot of things that I did, and she said I act like my grandma, and that my grandma did, it didn't make sense to her. Because fire signs are looking at energy, what their power gonna manifest for them, what their ability gonna manifest for them. My mother had, and she was so good with my grandmother because my mother had excellent organizational skills. And she could line my grandmother her day out just to the T. And my grandma could take her and go through her whole day with the influence of Mercury. Everybody trying to do magic has to embrace, even though I do not still see the world. I see the world through fire. I don't see the world through earth. My mother taught me, because Virgo rules the family and structure, and they also rule enemies. So family, because she's the mother of earth, she really cares about the structure of the family. She the one taught me why people got to play certain roles. No matter how you feel, no matter how upset you get, you have to play your role. That's why when it comes to Jay-Z and Beyonce, I don't care how mad she is with him, she gonna play her role. A Virgo play their role. You don't have to ask them. You don't have to run behind them. You don't have to beg them. They're going to play their role because they know how important role play is. And when you're trying to manifest, this is why I tell people, me and you are each other's miracle or manifestation. And when you don't play your role, like the woman with the the widow that God had commanded, she had a role to play in the man of God's life, and he had a role to play in her life. When you don't see how you play a part in this thing called life, or in the life of those people that you're interacting with, then you can't not only get the benefit, but you will find yourself feeling like you're being used when you're playing a part. You're going to get paid for the part you play in people's life. God is not going to forget your labor of love. When it comes down to manifestation, people of God, melanated people, play your role. That's where your support is going to come from. When you don't play your role, you don't get the support of that role. The heart play his role, her role, whatever, of magnetism. And I support that with herbs and vitamins and nutrients. The lungs play their role to the body. The brain plays his role. The ears play. This is what melanated. We are all individuals in the era of Aquarius, but we're all still connected. This is why me and Minister Mario work so well together, because I'm going to teach you this. Because he was a cardinal, not a mutable. You can't play the same role in somebody's life. Me and my sister and my mom have mutable energies. So we're doing the same role. We're playing the same role. We're manifesting through a different element, but nonetheless, the same role. When you got Pisces, when you got a Sagittarius, when you got a Virgo, and you got a Gemini, we all have the same maneuvering ability. What we have to contribute to one another is our element. That's what we give to one another. But we work well with other people that do not have our same modality, which is a cardinal or a fixed. Because we have more to give, and vice versa. I'm telling you, it's all about energy, all about frequency and vibration. So Virgo is the earth, how it molded my ability not only to accomplish what I accomplished, go through the hardships of business, go through the hardships of relationship, because there's always a plan. Revising that plan if necessary. So I want to give this definition before I go to Gemini, because I gotta get on the road. Influence is, by definition, the capacity to have an effect on the character, the development, or the behavior of someone or something, or the effect itself. Mercurial influence is an impact on your character, your development, and your behavior for manifestation or your attraction. If you want to attract success, get around people that have a spiritual or a mental strategy. Those are the analytics that come along and the order of sequence in Virgo. Then we're in the season of Gemini. Gemini also are the creators, the communicators of the universe. This is the ability to convey a thought, communicate with the minds of other people. Gemini is a huge satellite. It's always getting in information, and it's always got information going on. Geminis and Sagittarius are very talkative. Let me explain what Geminis do and could do for your season. They're mediators. They're ruled by Mercury. My sister, when she came along, I didn't see the purpose of it. I felt like my mother did a fantastic job by having me, and like, why do you want anything else? Anyway, what my sister has been so valuable in our family, in her energy, is she was always the mediator between me and my mother, because we couldn't see eye to eye, because the earth wanted to tell the fire what to do, and the fire got to have its freedom and ain't with that. So I used to tell my mother all the time, you go from mothering to smothering. I ain't gonna let you put my fire. You know, if you see me and you see my mom, you swear to God I look just like my mom. She's the one that taught me about natural beauty. And if you see my dad, you'll swear to God I look just, you look like the spin image, like that man had you himself. Okay? So I'm caught between my parents when it comes to my looks and my shape. My mom said, and my uncles said I walk like my dad. So apparently I'm built like my dad. But my sister, and depending on what type of Gemini you're going to choose to be, she never caused confusion between me and my mother. She knew my mother loved me, and she knew I loved my mother. And she would tell my mama, I don't even see why you arguing with him or going off on him, because y'all doing the same thing. Because I was more flamboyant, fire. I was more outward, fire. Just like my grandmother. My mother was reserved, conservative. And she thought that we brought on unnecessary issues in our life because we were upfront, outspoken, whatever. But I'm explaining to you, that Gemini that we have in our family was not a confusion maker. And she was a truth teller. And I have many times thanked her, because she didn't take the information that my mom gave to her. She didn't take the information that I gave to her and weaponize against me or my mother. Neither did she cause confusion. Geminis could really be an asset of information. A male man or male lady, if you so choose. They got a lot of information coming in, because people are going to talk to Gemini. People are going to they're going to be drawn to that element, because Geminis are naturally sociable people. And most Geminis are well liked. And one thing about this Sagittarius, I love me a smart conversation. I have to be mentally stimulated, even as a fire sign, because I was groomed or influenced heavily by Mercury. And so logic and plan and proper, like people talking about what they want and they got a feeling, that can't do it for me. People that just got an idea and no plan, that don't do it for me. You know how many times my mama said that's the stupidest shit I ever heard. Ask a Gemini to be honest what they really think about your ideas. And don't get mad. If you want to know how effective a Gemini could be in your life, give them space to be honest. Not being a people pleaser that they are telling you what you want to hear because they trying to appease your feelings. But the opposite of a Gemini is Sagittarius. That's why a Gemini tell you about your ass just like a Sagittarius will. But a Gemini is going to take the more docile approach, and he or she going to try to spare your feelings. But that information that they know about you could really help you advance and attract the things that you want and need in your life. You got to give a Gemini space to give you the information. It's like the mail lady or the mailman. You got to give them a chance to put it in the mailbox. Geminis are very quick thinkers. That's why I tell something. I was like, damn, you must be missing a fuse or something. You take it too long to get to the point. When Gemini is on board with you, they will bring a lot of attention your way. A lot of times people are talking about, no, Gemini don't just seek attention for themselves. They'll seek attention for you. If they like you, they're going to turn this attention. And remember, where your attention is or where your focus is, that's where energy for. Gemini will flood the zone for people to pay attention to you if they like what you're doing. I know what I'm talking about, y'all. And if that will promote your business, your gift, your talent, or whatever. When you dealing with these energies and they like you and they feel like you are a stimulant to them mentally, and you got resourceful information. I'm gonna say it like that. Resourceful information. Gemini is not only gonna bring the attention on you, on them, but they're gonna bring the attention on you. And like I said, that works both ways. When you on this shit list, you're gonna get some attention, but it's gonna be negative. They can weaponize gossip like nobody else. If they can drop a word on you like nobody. But we talking about attraction and manifestation. But I want you to understand that this element in the season of Gemini, especially a mature Gemini, male or female, the duality of their mind, and we call them the twins in voodoo, and the twins Meji and Santeria. But Gemini represents that energy, androgynous energy, duality. And what happens is Gemini shows you what, and mirror reflects what state of mind you are. And Gemini brings you the energy that you bring them. Remember how you focus in your stream of thought. Once a Gemini figures out that's what you think about them, they're going to give you that same energy. They're going to give you that same mindset. My mother, I'm going to say unfortunately, but it was meant because she intended to have us. She had a Sagittarius as her eldest, and then she had a Gemini as her daughter. And her level of influence impacted us, but her level of control repelled us. Because Sagittarius want freedom and Gemini want freedom. And that's what I tell y'all guys about manifestation and how you attract certain things. If you know you dealing with these signs and these energies and these modalities, and you you want to be in their life, you cannot imprison a Gemini. You cannot try to imprison a Sagittarius. You cannot try to imprison a Pisces. You cannot imprison a Virgo. Want to do it to you, but they don't want you to control them. That's why my mom and my uncle, my favorite uncle, one of my favorite uncles, but the one that was a father figure, he a Pisces. That's why my mom and him clash, because they just alike. One earth and one water. See, I had a collection of a lot of different type of people in my family, and that's why I tell y'all, if you really learn the energy of your family, you'll be able to navigate anything called life. If you don't get over Scorpio energy, I told my mom, I said, you don't want my sister's dad. And she go, oh, I love it. You don't tell me. I said, hear me out. He's a Scorpio. Your older sister's Scorpio. You got a problem with her. How she function. Then your granddaughter is a Scorpio. You got a problem with her. Just because you attracted somebody don't mean you good for them, because you have a problem with Scorpio energy. You like things about Scorpio, but you don't like Scorpio. And that's what a lot of people understand. That's why the mind is important. Because you can like the idea of a thing, but you don't want the responsibility of the very thing you're trying to attract. See, a lot of y'all out there fishing, and you catching some fish, but you don't want them. In life, you don't want to just attract something to be attracting it. You need to have a plan of why you want that thing in your life, in your sphere of energy. And therefore, nothing you do with your energy would be a waste, because you don't sit up there and sat down and counted up the cost to make sure that you're in a place, in a position. And this is what I tell people. Logic and mental intellect is a must. Every element is a must. And you don't have to do the same thing to get the same results. But you need a plan. You need a conveyor of information, which is Gemini. You need somebody to get that information from one destination to the next. That's why you got mail coming in and mail going out. Gemini, same way. They got, if you think they ain't talking, they talking. But they selective about what they share, because if they don't like you and don't trust you, they ain't telling you shit. You think the mailman and the mail lady is off from work, or they're sick or something going on, they just drive by your goddamn house. They make sure you don't get the mail. They make sure you don't get the memo. They make sure you don't know what the hell going on. They at work. They ain't gonna deliver your mail. Gemini's gonna know something that can really help you, but how you treat them, they ain't gonna tell you shit. As talkative as a Gemini is, you won't hear a peep from them. And it has nothing to do with they don't know. They ain't gonna tell you shit. You be going around talking about that Gemini don't talk. And then somebody said, that's a talking ass man or talking ass woman I've known in my life. But they like that person. They don't like. And they ain't gonna tell you nothing. And they can know what being done, said, all that. But you will never get that meal. You'll never get it. I'm trying to help you get to a point in your life that you can attract actually the things you want, and that you can benefit from the season of the Gemini that we own, and um that you got to have a good communicator and somebody that don't see you as a threat. My sister is not threatened by my relationship with my mother or the family. She's not threatened by my relationship with her kids. And she time let me talk to her children. And my Gemini do not play about their kids. They do not play about it. I mean, if they like you like that, they will go to the ends of the earth. I done seen my sister pull a stunt. I ain't know it was in her. I used to talk about I the one had the chaos energy, and I the one got to get straightened. And I seen my baby sister step up in situation. That's why I say if it's in you, it's in you. But she ain't never really had a need, because she said I don't call my brother until I'm done, cause he do too much. Everybody in my family know I'm gonna go to the extreme. I'm just like my grandmother, grandfather. It's gonna be on and popping. And the more, and I'm talking about, I got Mercurial influence. So my going off gonna be calculated, precise, and premeditated, baby. If you think I'm out here just throwing out energy for no reason, or you think I'm just out here getting initiated for no reason, if you think I'm just out here surfing the internet for no reason, baby, there's a plan. I got Mercurial influence. It has impacted my character. It has impacted my development. It has impacted my behavior. And child, let me tell you something. What's better than a blockbuster candle is good advice from a Gemini. Good counseling will get you through so much. And you don't have to exert that kind of energy through your magic. When I sit down and talk to my sister, I love talking to my sister. I'm the older, I'm 52 years old, but I love having conversation with my sister, and sometimes we be talking for hours. One thing I could do is talk. If I'm short with you, I think you, if you want to really know the truth, I think you're stupid. And I don't want to be hurt. I get tired of people saying I'm hurting their feelings. But if I talk to you a lot, that telling on myself with people. I can't do the ignorance. I be on the phone with you 2 minutes and you would solve that bullshit. I be done. I be looking for somebody else to talk to. Let me tell you what this that's how we do in my family. We would talk about is that the dumbest ass idea I've heard in my life? What made them because we believe in critical thinking. We believe in meeting of the minds. My family, they got their ways and all that. But let me tell you something, what I've seen in my family. When them Negroes go to that family table and there's a situation or a problem, oh, sir, ma'am. When I say that, they have created an autopsy on that situation. All of those minds that been influenced and impacted by my grandmother Sagittarius, all that wisdom in every one of them, by the time they get to creating an autopsy on your ass, they know the angle, the direction, the time. Because I do it myself. I will break down a situation. Ask Mother Susan when I talk to her. I done broke that shit down to the brake pads. I break it down to the lowest common denominator. And that's where I get it from. Mercurial impact. I don't care how wild, I don't care how crazy you may think Geminis are. By the time you get to the meeting of the minds, and they sitting up there telling you the information and the 411. Y'all ever heard of that term 411? That's information. Gemini. They say, I got some 411 for your ass. You know how many busts that didn't happen because somebody dropped the birdie? Gave them the information. Gemini will save your damn life. Don't go in there. They intend to jump you. How you know? She told me. He told me. But I like you. So I'm going to tell you, don't go in there. That Gemini, you don't know what a Gemini know. They are spirits of the crossroads. So is Virgo, but Gemini definitely, they perpendicular. They're always intersecting with somebody for some reason. And they finding out something. So I'm just saying, what you struggling with, that Gemini already got that information. They've been talking to somebody that's in some field that they just having random conversation. But the information you need to make your plan work, that Gemini got it. And they got it through casual conversation. People give Geminis valuable information out of casual conversation. You ain't got a Gemini. You're going to talk to a Gemini. That's their natural energy. My sister used to know so much of my business until she told my ex-wife my business. I had to cut off for a time being. But my sister knew what my mama didn't know. She said, that's my goddamn child. You better tell me. And she used to try to manipulate my sister. And my sister told me when she called me on the phone, she said, I'm about to bust. You better come and tell mama because I'm about to bust. That's how, and my sister will hold my, every now and then she'll let some go. But she told me when she get ready to blow, she'll tell me, you better come talk to her because I'm about to tell her. She done manipulated my sister. You sitting up here and something happened to my child and you know what's going on. I'll beat your ass. That's how it is. A Gemini ain't gonna give you up nothing. They're loyal to their information and they care about who they get their information to. So I'm just telling you, you ain't got to take my word for it. It's other Geminis on here. There's other Virgos that are going to be on here. And that's why your business is not prospering. Because a Gemini done drop the word on you. Don't trust them. You don't know who a Gemini. A Gemini is social, but they connect their air element, they're mutable. So they're constantly, that air element is constantly interacting with people, places, and things. You see how Demetrius get on here? And how, because he love what's going on, how he interacts with everybody. You don't know who Demetrius know. You don't know who Mother Susan know. Any of my Geminis. You don't know who they're conversating with. And trust me, your name getting out. Whether it's positive or negative. And that depends on how you treat that Gemini. So, if I don't know what I'm talking about, call me a lie. I'm just trying to teach you we in a season of information. And your Gemini in your life could be such an asset to you if you know how to treat them. They're crossroads spirits. Virgos are the mothers and the fathers of the earth. Psalm 24. Amen. One of my brothers is Gemini. Both say amen. I don't have to tell lies. I can, but you ain't the police and you ain't IRS. So I ain't gonna lie to you. Demetrius said, I always get the real. And guess what? And that's even though Mother Susan, I'm gonna use Mother Susan and Demetrius, they have different different views, different upcoming when it comes to spirituality. But eventually, all that information, Gemini gonna find out whether you real. While you worried about the many faces that Gemini got, they got a face for your ass. Let you come up not being authentic and genuine. Mother Susan is nosy. Gemini gonna get the news. They gonna get the Gemini gonna get the news. And both of them Geminis can tell you how real I am, because they already got the news. They know good information. They know lies that have been said about you. They know all of that. They know the good stuff, but they know it's about the news. And they don't have to believe. That's what y'all get confused. Just because Gemini getting the information don't mean that they necessarily believe what's being said to them. They just want to know what's on the mind of the person. You don't call that betrayal. Because they can move, a Gemini can move in spaces you can't move in. Geminis understand what rooms and spaces are. And that's why they adapt to the rooms and spaces they in. You call it being fake. Gemini call it, I know what this one doing, I know what that one doing, I know why this one don't like that one. Gemini could help you navigate through a room because they already know. They got the 411. They were sent to this earth for that reason. You gonna like them or not like them. And they already know why you don't like them. And they don't care. You serve no purpose other than information. And they already peep your business and they know it ain't much to you anyway. So they don't really care. You don't know why they don't care because you don't think they know what they know. Ha ha. Ha ha. I'm going to say that again. Ha ha. You don't think that Gemini know what they know, but they know it. Get their time wrong. You'll find out how much they know. And they're going to tell you the truth, what people saying about you, and the gossip. And they're going to eat your ass alive. Try them. And especially an older Gemini, you know how much information they can gather in them. Mother Susan, almost 70 years old. You know how much business she know? She can write a book. She need to go and write a book and make her some money. I love Geminis. I love Virgo. I just won't let a Virgo control me. I love smart people. I hope this helped you. Thank you for your support. Gas money and anything that anybody have done for me. I want to say thank you because this allows me to do what I do. And I don't have to always spend my personal money and build money to get stuff done. I know that's right, Stormy. Let me tell y'all something. I love the enlightenment, the information that is shared. When I'm using Demetrius to be in an environment that he can flow in his knowledge and what he knows and what his experience, and not that having not the word that I'm threatened by him. He has his own practice. He's doing quite well for himself. And these are the things that our melanated people need to see, that people can coexist. Demetrius is not somebody for me to have under me in this sense. He's somebody that we sharpen iron. I'm gonna help him elevate. It's important to know why people in your life. Everybody ain't gonna always be up under your wing. Some people gonna spread their own wings. You got to know that as a melanated man or woman, when you come to deal with the diaspora of African Americans or melanated people, you got to learn how to maneuver and allow everybody to grow, everybody have their sense of freedom. And then when it's their time to shine, see, that's what people understand. I take up a lot of space, but one thing you'll know about me, I will step back in a minute, in a second, to let you shine. Ask Minister Mario. Well, he didn't ask now. But he had, when I had him as the church administrator, when it was his jurisdiction, I stepped back, I went by what he said. When I put somebody in a position or I regulate something, I let them function in their role. You can't hire people. You can't want people a part of your elay, your ministry, in your church, and you don't want them to function in the roles that come natural to them. I told my ex-wife, because I have all 5 signs, all my baby mamas 5 signs, and I told my Aries, I said, listen here, you ain't finna boss me and tell me what to do. Let me help you get on this job and help you climb so you can boss other people, so you can get that out your system. Because when you bring your ass home, you ain't going to run me. When something natural to a person, you got to create spaces. You got to create spaces. The church world would not create a space for me in what I was bringing. And God created. That's why they said your gift will make room for you. And then you attract the type of people that are necessary for you to thrive and to prosper at what you do. Everybody's not your client. Everybody's not your customer. But it don't mean you won't prosper. I've been hoeing a long time and I ain't screwed everybody on this earth. But I done had my fun. There's somebody for everybody. There's an energy for everybody. There's a mindset for everybody. There's an emotional stability for everybody. There's practical ways of living through the earth element for everybody. And for the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. There's plenty. But you got to let the people that are here to influence you, impact you in ways that you ain't gonna know. That's why I told some of y'all be thanking me now. You gonna thank me later. When you realize the things that you're able to maneuver through, around, and above because of this teaching, that's when you will feel the impact. And that's how I use Mercurial energy to attract in this day of law and attraction. Synchronicity through Virgo. Being in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, looking the part. This is why the church coined this term, faking it to make it. No, what you're going to do is attract somebody else that's faking it to make it. And you ain't going to realize it until y'all start going through some fiery trials together that person was replicating you. And you were replicating that person. That's why I say, we in the age of Aquarius, be real. There's always somebody that's buying what you selling. Be real. You may have to go distant shores to get it, but be real and see what manifests and get attracted into your life. Being genuine is not being lame. Being genuine is being authentic, and somebody else going to be attracted to that about you. God bless you. I'm gonna get out of here.